All right, let's get right into it. We're going to pull back the curtain on something pretty fundamental in Forex trading, but something that a lot of people don't fully get. We're talking about the B-book.
This is a big one. It's that nagging question, right? The one that's probably crossed your mind a few times. And, the short answer is, yeah, kinda. It's a bit complicated, but in a way they are. So let's really unpack how that works and, more importantly, why.
So, to really get what's going on here, we have to talk about this thing called the B-book. And look, this isn't some wild conspiracy theory. It's actually a pretty standard business model in the world of retail Forex.
Okay, so here's the absolute key. When you place a trade with a B-book broker, you're not really out there trading against the global market. Nope, you're trading directly against your broker. They are literally taking the other side of your bet.
And this really lays it out in black and white, doesn't it? It's a direct conflict of interest. Simple as that. If you win a trade, let's say you make $1,000, that money comes straight out of the broker's pocket. And if you lose $1,000, well, that loss is their profit. It's a pure zero-sum game, just between you and them.
So that leads to the obvious next question, right? I mean, why in the world would a broker take on that kind of risk? What happens if you get on a hot streak and win big?
I mean, it sounds crazy risky, doesn't it? You're betting against your own customers, and hey, some of them could be trading geniuses for all you know. But here's the thing. Brokers aren't really just betting. They're playing the odds. And let me tell you, the odds are massively in their favor.
Just look at this number. Seriously, let that sink in for a second. This single stat, this is it. This is the whole reason the B-book model even exists and why it's so profitable for them.
Yep, that's the percentage of retail accounts that lose money trading Forex. Think about that. When a broker knows that somewhere around 3 out of every 4 of their clients, maybe even more, are going to lose, well, taking the other side of those trades isn't a gamble anymore, is it? It's a stone-cold, calculated business strategy. That number isn't just a statistic. It's basically the tide you're swimming against from day one.
And this is the perfect way to think about it. The broker is the house. They are the casino. They know that over thousands and thousands of trades, that statistical edge all but guarantees they'll come out ahead. It's not about winning every single hand. It's about winning over time. Frankly, the odds are better for them than a casino betting on roulette.
And then there's this little industry rule of thumb. You may have heard of it, the 90-90-90 rule. Now, it's not some official scientific study, but it paints a pretty bleak picture, right? That constant flow of new, hopeful traders, well, that's a steady stream of income for a B-book broker who's just playing the long game.
But hold on. This doesn't mean that the broker's master plan is for every single person to lose all their money immediately. It's actually a little more sophisticated than that. Their real goal isn't just about you losing.
So you'd think their ideal customer is some guy who comes in and loses $1 million in a day. But that's not really it. What they actually want is a big, balanced group of traders, a whole ecosystem where everyone's trades kind of cancel each other out. So this is like their dream scenario, right? A ton of customers, all making trades of about the same size, trading all the time, some going long, some going short. Why? Because if they have one person buying, say, the euro/dollar, and another person selling the exact same amount, they can just match those trades inside their own system. They take on zero risk from the market, and they just collect the spread from both traders. I mean, that's a perfect business model.
Now, the real wrench in the works for this whole setup is what's known as a whale. And yeah, it's just like in a casino. It's that one person who wins and wins consistently. In trading, it's the trader who is so profitable and their account gets so big that their wins start to become a real financial threat to the broker. They're the ones who could actually sink the ship.
So now the broker has a problem, right? What do you do with that small group, that 10, maybe 20% of traders who actually make money? You can't just keep taking the other side of their trades because you'll lose your shirt. You need a different plan for them.
And that plan, that's what we call the hybrid model. It's pretty much the industry standard for managing this exact problem. And for the broker, it's really the best of both worlds.
Think of it like a sorting hat. The broker's system is constantly watching how you trade. If you're like most people and you're losing more often than not, you stay on the B-book. No problem. But if you start winning and winning consistently, you get flagged. You're a whale. So they move you over to the A-book. Now, on the A-book, they don't bet against you anymore. Instead, they pass your trades on to a bigger fish, a liquidity provider. That way, the broker is out of the line of fire. They just make a small commission on your trades and take on zero risk.
And this is super important to understand. This isn't some sneaky, rare thing.
almost all retail Forex brokers run a hybrid model like this. It's how they survive. They make their money from the predictable losses of most traders, while at the same time, they protect themselves from the talented few who win consistently.
Okay, so we've gotten into the nuts and bolts of how it all works behind the scenes. But what does all of this actually mean for you? As a trader, how does knowing this change the game?
Let's boil it all down to the key takeaways. First, and this is the big one, your broker is not your friend. They're your business partner, and sometimes your opponent. Their success is not your success. Second, their entire business is built on managing risk, and that risk model is based on the cold hard fact that most traders lose. And finally, here's the kicker. If you actually get good at this, if you become a consistent winner, your relationship with your broker will change. You'll go from being a source of profit to a risk that they need to manage. It's not personal, it's just business.
Look, knowing all this doesn't mean you can't win. Not at all, but it does mean you need to be realistic. You're stepping into a game where the house definitely has an edge. Understanding how they have that edge, well, that's the very first step to figuring out how to play and win anyway. So the question for you is, now that you know the game, how are you going to play it?